What's up, BB Besties? I have a live feed update.
Hey, BB friends, here's a quick update.
Welcome to the Girl Gab podcast. Join your hosts, Allie and Nikki, as they break down the latest in pop culture, TV, and whatever else they feel like gabbing about. Girl Gab starts now.
Hi, guys. Hey, Nicolette. How's it going?
Hey.
I'm back. Yeah, so I didn't have the flu or anything, but it felt like I did. I was down bad for a couple days, so thanks for holding down the fort for me. Other podcasts I listen to, it's not that weird when people talk about it, and I listened to your pod, and I didn't think it was strange at all. It didn't come off weird from the listener standpoint. I know it probably felt weird. I saw you talked a little bit about the Super Bowl and the Grammys and everything, so we're definitely going to touch on that. But before we do that, I have to bring something up. On TikTok, have you seen the videos of this lady from the US that's stuck in Pakistan? Or I'm sorry, she's not stuck. She's refusing to leave Pakistan.
Yes, I most definitely have. And what a wild story.
So for anybody listening, if you don't know what we're talking about, this lady catfished a man. She's an African-American lady, and she used some kind of filter to make her look like a white, blonde, blue-eyed lady. And the guy, when she arrived in Pakistan, I think they got married like online or something before she ever even got there. So like they're legally married, I think. I think that's how she doesn't have to leave. I don't really understand it. But basically, she arrives and he's like, who are you? So he not only like him and his mother and everyone he lives with packed up their entire home and they abandoned their home. Like that's how
Which
bad.
is wild.
She refused to leave. Like she was parked out in front of the house or whatever for hours and hours and days and days. So they just vacated their own home to get away from her. And now the locals have like they took her to McDonald's and like bought her like 2 meals to eat all on her own.
And money.
What?
And money. Like they're giving her money.
Well, she's demanding it. She's like,
Right.
I need $2,000 and however many acres of land. And I'm sorry, but she is my spirit animal because when she said, I don't know, but I'm minding my own business now, I was like,
can't complain.
But all I gotta say is about this is send Ace down there. He'll go down there with his flip-flop and a coat hanger, and she'll be back tap dancing in approximately 48 hours, 72 to 48 hours. Because
honestly,
if you don't know who Ace is a guy on TikTok that dances with Pakistan people. Like virtually, he teaches them how to dance, even though he's in the future and they're in the.
I'm surprised that he hasn't like rounded up some of his dancers to be like, y'all, go take care of this. Like, what are you guys doing?
When is he weighing in on this? Like, go get her ass, bring her back. He probably doesn't want anything to do with it. So that's my TikTok tea for the week. I've just had fun keeping up with all of that. But as far as the Grammys go, now that you've given your predictions, how do you feel about the things that you predicted?
I was wrong about a lot of things, but I was also right about some things, so I'll take my small wins.
You were right about the Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah, that's about all I was right about, which is really on par for me since that's literally the only music I typically listen to. So I had a pretty good read on that situation. It was really funny though, because when Sunday, the day of the Grammys, my son had a wrestling tournament, and when we were on the way home, I was like, okay guys, I'm going to pull up like the nominees and everything of these different categories, and everyone like say who you think is going to win. You know, it was a fun little car ride activity to do. And my son kept saying, like, Kendrick Lamar. If Kendrick Lamar was nominated, that's who he was saying. And I was like, Kendrick Lamar is not going to win anything. Like, you're the only one that really knows him here. And then I definitely ate my words.
You were so wrong about that.
So wrong.
If I was in that car with you, I'd have been like, Nikki, what are you talking about? Yeah, if I was doing these predictions with you last week, I would have definitely told you that Kendrick was walking away with something, if not everything he was nominated for. So he was actually nominated for, he had 11 nominations, and the record for nominations is 12 by Michael Jackson when he did the Thriller album, which is wild. Even Kendrick was like, I didn't deserve that. Like, because I think he was on Jimmy Kimmel or one of those late night
Late
shows,
night
and
shows.
they were like, "What would you do if you got 12 and you tied with Michael Jackson?" He goes, "I would have to give one back." Like, it's like, I don't feel like I did that much work. And truly, all he did was have a lot of hate and anger in his heart towards Drake. And he was like, "Let me just go in this
Let me
studio
get it
and
out.
talk about how much I hate this fucker," which I love, you know. But and then Mustard, oh my gosh, Mustard deserved it so much too, because that beat is like,
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah. That's why it's such a bop.
It is an anthem. Um, Which kind of brings me into the Super Bowl. So you got to give your predictions about the Super Bowl, and by the time you guys listen to this, the Super Bowl will have already happened. It's Friday for us, but it'll be like Monday or Tuesday for you. I don't know what's going to happen at this halftime show, but I do think it's possible that Kendrick is going to be able to play the song, but it's very possible that he has to leave out Drake's name. Given that we know that there have been lawsuits, cease and assist letters.
Right, baby bullshit.
Yeah, okay, so Drake is down bad. And I do feel for him in some ways, because I cannot imagine if somebody wrote a song about me calling me things that I felt were untrue. And then it became a whole national anthem. This song will forever be played at basketball, football games, high school dances. Like, this song is a bop. It is an anthem. I can only imagine if I lived in the West Coast how I'd feel about this song. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Drake is suing not Kendrick, but the label UMG, because he feels that they did a few things. One of them was use bots to artificially inflate the song. The other one is, so UMG's up here, and then we have, I think Drake is with Republic Records, and then Kendrick, I can't remember who he's with. So we have these two labels here, but they're both owned by UMG, Universal. And Drake is suing Universal because he can't sue his own label because they had nothing to do with it. And if he sued Kendrick's label, that would make no sense, right? Because Kendrick's label is obviously, their goal is to promote him and his music. Drake feels UMG should not have allowed Kendrick to write and sing songs about another UMG artist. Drake didn't feel that way when he was battling with Meek Mill in 2015.
No,
And
and
he won.
when he put out his track with this whole Kendrick Lamar beef, he had no qualms about mentioning Taylor Swift, who's also part of UMG. So,
or Kendrick, for that matter, right? Like,
I'm just,
or Kendrick.
it's even more egregious to pull in a name that's not even between the two of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He pulled a completely third-party name of the same label. For what reason?
Yeah.
It's
Drake
fine
lost.
for you.
He lost the rap battle, and he's being a crybaby. If anyone, the person you should be suing is Kendrick for slandering your name, but you're too fucking scared to do that. You're obviously too Kendrick wrote the song and sang the song. Why would you not sue him? Because you're scared.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually made it very clear in the lawsuit, I am not suing Kendrick. I'm not suing the artist. Well, then,
I also feel like you would have more ground to stand on in a lawsuit suing Kendrick than you would the record labels at all.
but he's not going to do that, because that's how you get shot. That's another part of the lawsuit too, is I don't know if you remember, but like right after the song blew up, people like were swarming his house, or something happened, like somebody got beat up or shot or whatever.
I remember something about that.
He added that into the lawsuit, saying that Kendrick incited violence.
Oh, okay.
And then Drake is accusing UMG of basically paying the NFL / Jay-Z to ensure that Kendrick was at the NFL or at the
I'm
Super
sorry,
Bowl.
but if UMG wanted to make sure that one of their big artists was
Taylor.
there, and they wanted to use money to do it, they would have done Taylor. They wouldn't have wasted their time and money on getting Kendrick to be the halftime performer. He's just someone that's relevant right now.
And I think that part of this is, I think he's salty for Wayne, because I mean, I'm a Lil Wayne fan. I've been to a Lil Wayne concert. Like, I love that man more than anything. Back whenever we had family class or whatever in high school, and I had that little fake baby that you turn the keenness back. Its last name was Carter, honey.
Oh my God.
I don't remember what I named the first name, but that last name was definitely Carter on that fake birth certificate. I had Lil Wayne posters in my room. Dwayne Carter is my man, okay? But he's salty, and he definitely was waiting to launch the Carter 6, which I am personally excited for, but he was waiting to launch it at the Super Bowl. Like, he wanted to do this, and it's his hometown. He deserved it. But Drake didn't have some poppin' album throughout the year the way that Kendrick did. And Kendrick was just very recently at the Super Bowl. So I think that all of these factors are just playing a role in Drake being exuberantly salty and standing up for his man, aka Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I just don't really think, like, I know that Wayne is from New Orleans, but they don't really pick halftime performers based on, like, this is their hometown or their home team or different things like that. It's two things. Who is currently relevant and appeals to a large audience because the NFL brings in a large audience, or who is someone from the past that, like, majority of their audience would want to see. That's what we saw with Usher last year. A lot of millennials are the main base of the NFL. And while I do think that a lot of millennials listen to Lil Wayne, it's not family friendly. It's like way more.
I disagree because Lil Wayne is, I forget when do you remember whenever he was on the Masked Singer, like right after the Super Bowl? I think that's because he is family friendly because he was obviously featured on that
I just
episode
mean his
just
song.
because it was right after the Super Bowl and because he was unmasked on the very first it was obviously planned, but I remember during that episode them giving, I'll look it up, I think he's like the number one selling rap artist of like,
I don't know that it would be like, I just don't know that it would be a good halftime show. And I'm a big fan of Lil Wayne as well.
yeah, he is one of the best selling artists of all time.
Right, but I'm saying, like, from a family, like, kid perspective. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I know who Kendrick Lamar is. My 10-year-old knows who Kendrick Lamar is. My mom knows who Kendrick Lamar is. I'm the only one out of
Your
those
mom
three
knows
people
Kendrick Lamar? I'm impressed.
Yeah. But I'm the only one out of those three people.
My mom does not. Let's call her right now. She's not gonna know.
Like, out of those same three people, I would be the only one that knows Lil Wayne. So that's what I'm saying, like, in today's time, he's not one of the artists that has, like, necessarily stood the test of time at a wide audience level.
He became the first male artist to have more entries on the Billboard Hot 100 than Elvis Presley in 2012.
That is not
I'm
surprising
just
because
saying.
that is definitely the era that I was listening to him in. And I'm not knocking him because I'm saying, like, I was definitely one of those people that was in 2012. I probably listened to nothing but Lil Wayne, Jay Holiday, and Wiz Khalifa. If Wiz Khalifa was in that time, he might have been a couple years later. I don't remember, but like, that's all I listened
black
to.
and yellow, black and yellow.
Yeah. Well, I listened to Wiz Khalifa before he was even mainstream. Like, on his mixtapes, like, I was listening to him
Since
already.
we were just talking about Drake, I have to say this. When I was a freshman in high school, it was like 2008, I don't know. And a guy that, shout out Brett, but this man, I was just like friends with him. I think he was like a junior or something, and I was like a freshman. This was like right after AIM had kind of went away. We were messaging on Facebook, and it was ice storm day. So we were all just like trapped at home. There's no school, and he's like, "Listen to this song," and he like sends me the YouTube link, and it's Drake. And I'm like, this artist is terrible. He's not going anywhere. I hate this. This is like heartbreak Drake days, okay? And if you don't know, I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, and the next year, I think he did a free concert for the University of Kentucky students, and my biggest regret is not going to that goddamn concert. I dog talked that man. Dog talked him. And then, like, I don't know, 3 months later, it may not mean nothing to y'all. And then for a long time, I would stand on that. Like, shit, like, I dog talked him, and now I'm like, I knew something. I knew something. But part of Kendrick's, like, not to get too political, but part of Kendrick's beef with him is that, like, he uses the N-word, and Kendrick and a lot of people on his side of the fence feel that mixed people should not be using the N-word, and that is what Drake is. They feel like he uses California people to his advantage when he's not even from, like, he kind of acts like he's from California. States. He grew up in Canada. So I guess I understand Kendrick's point on it. I get why you would be mad about all the things you're mad about. And I mean, I've listened to that entire album from start to finish. Euphoria goes hard. Not Like Us goes hard. And Drake lost. And he's just going to have to take that L. Sorry, Drake, if you're listening to this. Sorry. Yeah. So I don't know. I do think that they'll cut back to the point. I think they're gonna cut the word Drake out. I just don't if they do say Drake's name specifically during the halftime show, I'll be shook.
Yeah, it's been a while, I feel like, since we've like old school halftime shows that I remember was very much like a shit ton of songs thrown together and you just got like 10 seconds of every song and it was like song.
Yeah.
And lately it's not been like that. You've gotten still a mix of songs, but less, and so you get more of each of those songs. And I could see Kendrick going back to the
I
old
think that's
way
what he's
of
gonna do.
doing doing a ton, because that's one way that he can get, honestly, like almost using not like as a transitional
And
between.
the album he just dropped goes really, really, really hard. He uses all stuff from like the 70s and 80s, early 80s, late 70s, like his samples. That's where all of them are. Like he samples Luther Vandross on the album, on the song that you probably hear on the radio all the time. He samples Luther Vandross. Like I think he'll sing songs from that, and I think he'll sing some of his most popular songs. And I think he's definitely singing like a little mixture of Euphoria, Not Like Us. He's gonna sing those. I just, like you said, I think he's going to sample them. Now, the most recent I could think of that's like what you're talking about is when they did the whole West Coast thing when Snoop,
Correct.
I don't even know if we can call it a West Coast thing because they have like 50 Cent there, but all of those friends. Okay. So, you want to get into some cast drops? We had a lot. This was a really big week in reality TV, y'all, because we had the Love is Blind season 8 cast drop. We had Survivor season 48, which I'm so sad I can't say season 40 several anymore. And then we also had The Amazing Race season 37 cast drop. So, let's start with Love is Blind. Let me pull up the picture.
When the cast was first released, Netflix was like bragging about how this is their biggest cast ever, yada yada yada, and I'm like, biggest cast ever, and this is what we're left with. Why are you bragging about it being the biggest cast? And these men, good lord, do better. I'd rather have a smaller cast and better quality. Quality over quantity, Netflix.
Yeah, so Cassandra, one of my faves. I think she's so cute. I think she has possibilities. I think she looks like she's going to be a real down-to-earth girl. She's giving hometown girl, and she's not giving it in the way that Hannah was last season. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, I got ick from Hannah. Even if you go look at my TikTok videos, immediate ick just from her fucking pictures. My next question is, what's this?
Yes, I made a TikTok about this because she looks like she is ready to go perform her jazz routine at a dance competition.
She looks like, I don't want to fuck with you because you're fucking crazy. Somebody that's willing to put this on and only be half dressed. This is business on one side and party on the next. Like, what are you doing, Miss Kylie? I have so many concerns, and I fear that she really is about to get chosen. And probably while we're in this goddamn outfit. That's my thought on her. I also really liked Lauren. Another in general thought to add to, we don't have very many people in their 20s at all this season, which I really like. I think that leads to the most success, and the people that we do have in their 20s are like 27 and above.
Mm-hmm.
Molly, did you see Molly, the executive assistant? She's 30. Most of these people are between 30 and 32 this season. She's cute, and I like her, and I wish her all the best.
No, she looks like she's going to annoy the shit out of me.
You can back up off my girl.
Just immediately knowing I am not going to like this girl.
Wait a second. I just realized something. I changed my mind about her. Are you watching Dondi?
No.
Then you won't know who I'm talking about. She reminds me of the girl that went out second on Dondi who annoyed the fuck out of the entire island. Her name right now.
You know what else I noticed? There's so many people from the medical field. I think
also,
even
Molly says, boys who are embarrassed easily, please exit stage left.
Yeah, annoying. Immediately you're annoying. No.
Okay, so Monica, she says, I want my partner to feel like another family member. I'm sorry, babe. I want him to feel like my partner and not my brother. I love everyone's outfits except for what's her face, truly. Like, everyone's dresses are really cute, but you're right, like, this girl's an oncology nurse.
There's 2 oncology nurses. I wonder if they know each other.
What the fuck is a colonoscopy nurse? Like, you know what? I would
I was
die.
also
If I
wondering.
was a nurse, that is the last specialty. Like, all
It's
day long,
also
you're just bringing people back for colonoscopy.
it's
It's be
also
terrible.
weird that they like, I found it really weird that they were saying what kind of nurse they were. Normally on their lower
Yeah.
third, like, it's just nurse.
Nurse. Or, like, if they're a nurse practitioner. Or,
Right.
like, yeah. Well, Taylor's in the Pisces gang, so I'm gonna have to
Root for her.
root for her on default. Also, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but like there's a lot of white people this season.
There is. Yeah. Where is this from?
Minneapolis. Is that why? I don't know. What's Minneapolis
I
like?
don't
I've
know.
never been there.
Me neither.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't know. It might be half and half, but when I scrolled through,
I don't think so.
I also felt like they put all the white people first and then all the brown people, and I was just like, it was giving odd behavior.
I think it's one of those things where it's
I don't know
like
if they meant to, but
where they can be like half the cast is diverse, you know what I mean? And it's like a couple black people, an Asian person, and someone else that's probably mixed that
maybe they
is
took advice
very
from
white
Target.
passing.
Maybe they took advice from Target and they're getting rid of their
The
DEI
DEI.
initiatives. Moving on to the guys, I was very, very, very underwhelmed by most of these guys.
Exact
For
word.
whatever reason, the girls were all in their 30s, and then we started off the guys, which again, like I said, most of the people in their 20s are 27, 28, 29. But there was a lot of the 27, 28, 29s, and I was like, this is asking for these guys to be too selective because they don't want to end up with an older woman. This guy looks like somebody I know, and it's like triggering to me.
There is not a single man on this cast that I find attractive, like even remotely attractive. Here's been my theory on Love is Blind quite literally since season 2, has been that it's actually somewhat of a rather misogynistic show because cast after cast we have a plethora of very beautiful, attractive women mixed with a cast
Mixed
of
with this.
very few.
Mixed with guys look like this.
Exactly. And so, and my point with that is you're always going to have, like, when the reveal happens, right, the men are going to be less likely to judge based on looks, and then the women are like stuck. It's really bad this year.
I agree with everything you just said, and I also think that we're coming on a time where this show is going to have problems if they don't revamp something, because all of the reasons that we just said, namely, I think the discrepancy between men versus women, like that's the biggest issue that I've been seeing. And we saw that play out with Hannah getting the ick. Now, I think that was Hannah's fucking fault though at the same time, but that's casting's fault for casting somebody like her. But she didn't give that man a chance. And at first, I gave him a horrible review. What was his name? Jordan. What was his name?
I don't remember, but I was the same way. I was dogging
Whatever
that
his name was, I dog talked him. Yeah, I dog talked him preseason. I dog talked him in the first few episodes because of some of the shit he said. But then at some point, I was like, he ain't that bad. And then she started treating him badly, and I was like, okay, she just needs time.
I'll be honest, my opinion on this season is it better be decent. There's a lot of things from the last 2 seasons specifically that better go better. And already just based on all the drama and tea we've heard preseason, I don't think it's going to.
Let's talk about that too while we're on the topic.
If it's not better, I'm out. I'm not watching the show anymore because it's just lost its authenticity to me, and it's literally just a show about drama, and that's not really what I'm like trying to watch on the show. I want it to go back to season 1, season 2.
Okay, by casting a dude like we're talking about right now, that some shit's gonna break down. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it. So from what I understand, I was not aware of it until recently. Like I wasn't aware of it until after the cast drop. But I know there's been a lot of people that have been following this for months. There's been rumors about this guy that
It
was
came
on the
up
show.
during last season. People started talking about it during last season.
On the show?
Are you talking about the guy? Are you talking about Andrew on this cast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people, like, I don't remember how or why they found out that they were filming in Minneapolis or whatever during Love is Blind last season. But, like, tea about this guy literally started last season.
I didn't hear about it until like this month. So, yeah. So Andrew, apparently he's a piece of shit, a big piece of shit, and like was giving out cards or whatever. What is with that? The business card thing?
He just sounds like a complete and total misogynist, and it does seem like they address it on the show. Because here's my thing, like,
He matches though. We know he matches.
Correct. Yeah. And is it him?
And I think he leaves the pods too. They leave the pods, and he cheats on her. Is what I'm gathering.
So,
and all of his past girlfriends as well.
I think the part that we see where she's like crying and stuff is when this stuff starts coming out on TikTok was when they were filming. So it's like all this stuff coming out on TikTok is part of their filming story.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And because she's like, what are these people talking about?
I just feel like Netflix is not doing their due diligence. And at this point, it's starting to be to the point where I'm like, you know what? You need to stop filming a show like this because you're fucking with people's emotions. Because or another prime example is last cast, we had Ashley and whatever his name was.
Tyler, idiot.
Ashley and sperm donor. Like,
correct.
What do you mean you knew about this and you didn't think it was important to encourage him to say something about it? A lot of times, reality TV shows, I'll use 90 Day Fiance, for example. We know that they kind of, and Lifetime does this too, but TLC is really bad about it. They will pick and pick and pick in their questioning when they're doing when productions like prompting cast members to talk. Hey, you want to talk about this? MTV does it too, like on Teen Mom. You want to talk about it. You want to talk about it. You want to talk about it. And they kind of force you to talk about stuff maybe you're not ready to talk about. So to know that Netflix intentionally didn't want this to come up means that they wanted her to marry him, leave the pods with him, and for this to come out later. That is insane. And I don't care what anybody says. I don't believe him. I've watched the entire Risa Tisa style drop that his baby mama did, and I believe every single word that left her tongue.
Yeah, no, I 100%
believe her. Because she was very open about the fact that she is a gay woman. She is a lesbian. And she's like, I had a hard time admitting that he and I did naturally conceive our twins. The twins, they naturally conceived. The son was sperm donation, she confirmed, but the twins was naturally conceived. And I believe her because she's like, yeah, he moved in. He wanted to try to help raise our son. And I can see all of that happening platonically. And then after a drink or two, like you guys are now forming a relationship together. After a drink or two, you might start to engage in extracurricular activities.
Yep.
I mean, I see it happening, and I see it also fully. I don't know what it's like to be a lesbian, but I could only imagine being a lesbian and then being like, and now I have to admit that like I did that. Like, I feel like that would be hard, right? Like you've always identified this way. You've never been into men, and now you have to explain to your friends and family that like how this happened. So I could have seen them playing it off as a sperm donation for years, like, hey, I don't feel comfortable letting people know. But then she was saying that like he was in the hospital helping her deliver these babies. Like she has way too much information and way too many receipts. The fact that he's on the birth certificate for the second
but
for the
also,
twins. And now
like
Ashley leaving him because of more information coming out that we don't know about, that she said that she finally found out he's lying or whatever. That leads me to further believe that baby mama was telling the truth.
That, but also like literally, I didn't really even need to hear her say that. Just the videos that she posted before she went into her tell-all, where the children themselves are referring to him as dad. How or why are they doing that even before you were on this TV show? It's not like she trained them to say that. And
did you see their explanation for that though? Did you see what Ashley tried to say as to why on the podcast that she did? I think she was on like Files or something. Did you see the explanation?
No, tell me.
The explanation, oh, you're going to be so mad. The explanation is because he wanted to be there for the boy. He wanted to be the male figure for the boy. if you notice in the videos, it's only the boy doing that. It's only the boy calling him. He never interacted with the twins. He never interacted with the little girls. This was just for the boy.
Get out of here.
Mhm. Yeah. Only he was only picking up the boy from school. He was like, well, yeah, because maybe she lived closer to the daycare and she picked up the twins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Truly crazy. Like, but this is what we're dealing with Love is Blind. I don't know. But that's pretty much the last of the cast that we have on here. Okay. What's the other cast we did? Survivor. 40 several. I mean 48. I hate not being able to say 40 several. I loved saying 40 several. So we have purple, orange, and green tribes on Survivor 48. My personal thoughts that the green tribe seems like we're going to get into who's on it, but the green tribe seems to be a very diverse and quirky tribe. I think that they might struggle in the competitions as well. I don't think that they're going to be a strong physical tribe. I think they're going to struggle in the competitions. I also think they're going to struggle to make strong bonds together because of how quirky and different they are. I think we're going to have problems out of them. And let's go into who's on it. Let me just talk about what I think about the tribes and then we'll talk about the entire cast. That's what I think about the green tribe. I think we're going to have trouble out of them. And I think they're going to struggle to win competitions. I think we're going to see them go to tribal council often. And I think that they're going to struggle to make bonds that are going to be helpful post-merge. The orange tribe, I think they're going to be called Siva, and they also have a strong potential to be going to tribal council a lot, mark my words. I'm not getting a power tribe out of these people. I'm getting week after week after week tribal. We have a few older people on this tribe as well.
Is there like a theme to how the tribes are split this season or no? No. Okay.
No, we're not doing a race theme like in 2010. Did you know that?
They broke them up by races? How did that get fucking passed through? What the hell?
Well, eventually Jeff Probst just totally stopped mentioning it.
I would
I'll send you the season. Like, I'll send you clips from the season when we get off here because you're going to be like, I cannot believe I'm talking blacks, whites, Asians. It was not a.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking like that season they did split it by like what was it, beauty, bronze, and brains or something like that.
Oh, it was just like that, except it was based on their skin color.
That's fucking wild.
All right, so this is what the orange team looks like. The orange tribe, sorry, not team. I feel like they are going to tribal often, hard and fast. And then let me pull up what the purple. So then this is purple, and I'll tell you my thoughts on purple. And then we'll go over all of the people. What I wrote on my Instagram about purple, these are decent physical threats. I do feel like the purple tribe is going to do well at staying out of tribals, winning competitions, and winning rewards. I do worry that they have enough strong personalities that they will struggle to make strong enough bonds that will last post-merge. And I think that that's the winning, in my opinion, that's the winning mix for a good post-merge tribe is people that are able to stay out of tribal as often as they can, but also form strong enough bonds that when they get to merge, post-merge, you got some friends.
Yeah.
And you're willing to stick together. And I've never understood on Survivor why sometimes people don't just like stay with your fucking pre-merge tribe. Especially if you're there have been times that like the whole tribe avoids tribal. I'm like, stick with these motherfuckers. Like,
yeah, you have the numbers.
Yeah. Star is giving Teeny for me, except more annoying, and I love it. I think Star is going to get on everybody's goddamn nerves, just like Rome from last season, except in a better way. Like, I like this person. I think she's gonna, she's got a son. She says that her like motivation, her biggest accomplishment is her son. I don't know. I like her. I really like her. So that's Star. She's from Georgia. Elle Frazier. I don't know. I don't think. 31 from Virginia, Roanoke. I don't know. He's an attorney. Attorneys really don't do well on Survivor.
Yeah, I think they said he was going to lie, which at this point,
they usually do. and they usually
There's
need
no
to.
point.
Survivor is one of those shows that people actually really value who needs it, and that becomes a
Okay.
factor. That becomes a factor. We've noticed that happen more than once. And the mamas become a problem too. If you're giving good mom energy, you usually end up being able to ride yourself to the end because everyone trusts you and wants you around. And then they view you as like their mom. And then it's hard. And then at the end of the game, you're going to sweep it because who, how are they going to vote against you? Mamas become a problem, and attorneys are a problem if they don't lie.
Okay.
Christy is giving badass fire lieutenant to me, but also potentially mom energy.
Yeah. Yeah, as you were saying all of that, I was like, okay, so this next girl here
Like she's a
is gonna
Chicago
be
fire lieutenant.
that's like two of those occupation that people, typically respect, but is typically also seen as underpaid, and then the mom energy on top of it.
Yeah, and we see people like Tony and Jeremy Collins do really well as public servants, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know who I don't think is going to do well? Shannon. I think that's what their name is. Shannon.
Yeah, there was something about this. Was he
Debate
part of?
professor. I don't see it. If you're a debate professor, you're probably going to piss everybody off on that island.
There was some tea about this guy or something. Is that right?
I don't know.
So, like,
Look it up. I haven't seen it.
I think it was something about like he was rumored to be part of last season's cast or something like that.
He wasn't. He didn't make it.
No, I know. It was like, let me see if I can find it.
I don't know. Software engineer Camilla. I don't know. I'm indifferent.
He was an alternate for season 46 and made a big impression on the cast preseason, but he didn't end up making it onto the actual cast. But it was for 46, not 47.
I'm
I
not
just know
surprised.
they mentioned it on Rob Has a Podcast, so I thought it was like big information. I don't know.
I think that a lot of these shows do that, right? Like, you know, you're just applying for a pool and you might get
Yeah, but it was
chosen.
like the public knew about him from season 46.
Not this public.
Maybe he tweeted about it or something.
Not
I
this
don't fucking
public.
know.
Okay, so yeah, this girl, I don't know. I just get nothing vibes from Camila. Charity. Okay. So I did not get to watch very many of the actual interviews yet. I'm still going through them. Hers is one that I did watch in its entirety. I think she's going to do well. She is the one who comes from like the super religious upbringing, and she had to kind of change her thoughts as she got older, and she became like a flight attendant or whatever. I think she's going to do well. I think she's going to be relatable to other people on the cast.
Yeah, isn't she also the one though that just like lost a like insane amount of weight before all this or something like that?
Possibly, I don't know. I don't remember that part. Maybe.
I think that was part of her like thing is I can't remember.
Remember on her pictures, I don't know if it was insane, but I do remember when they would flash back pictures of her old, what she used to look like. Her face looked chubbier, but she also is the one that like was literally about to go on like a mission or go to seminary school or something, and she just left because she
Yeah.
knew that doing that was going to be like she was going to be stuck doing something she didn't want to do. So she left and decided to become a flight attendant. So I like her. I'm rooting for her.
Mhm.
She would be on my draft list if I was doing one. Mitch, I just don't like your name, and I don't like your smile, and I feel like you're fake. And I feel like if you could wear sunglasses backwards on the back of your head, you would do it.
I could see it. I could definitely see it.
PE coach. Exactly. Look, I didn't even know that until exactly from Waco, Texas. So yeah, no. Sorry, Mitch. Don't like you. David is giving what's his name from you? Joe or whatever his name is from you. He's gonna hurt. He's going to get somebody in their sleep.
Yeah,
I would be worried to be on an island with this man.
He's just definitely giving Alpha Bro 101 and I can't stand it.
Stunt performer. You know what else he's giving? Fear factor.
Joe Rogan.
Whenever
Exactly.
they get to the what do they call it on Survivor? Meal challenge? Whatever they call it on Survivor. The food challenge where they have to eat all the nasty shit. I hope when they get there, he gets the nastiest thing to eat. Like, I hope he has to eat the shit that they just had to put on their hands in the Traitors. Okay.
Okay.
Stephanie Berger. I don't know. She's giving girl next door, I guess.
Yeah, boring basic.
Yeah. But she is 38. Oh, she's definitely looks younger than she actually is. Good for you. And you're putting on some tretinoin cream or something. Okay. Joe Hunter.
He's fired, Captain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all I can say about it.
Uh-huh. Moving on. Okay. Sai, I think she's going by. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Sai.
I don't remember why, but this one stuck out to me.
I like. I did not watch her interview yet. I just read the bio, but I like Cedric McFadden. I have seen his TikTok everywhere. He's a doctor. He's like a physician. He's posting all types of shit on his TikTok, preseason interviews and stuff. It's just been coming up on my timeline. He's a surgeon. I don't know if I didn't really scroll through his page or anything, but I don't know if he was posting like, if he was already an influencer, like, I don't know. Thomas, I don't like the mustache. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But like,
Knock it off.
music executive.
I'll never like a mustache. I'll be honest.
Eva,
never a good look.
PhD candidate at 24. I just don't like your name. I'm sorry. I just don't like your name. I like Ava, but I don't like Eva. Eva is giving that movie from the 90s. So
I think she's autistic.
oh, that's cool. I do like her then. Bianca.
Boring.
I feel like people are gonna, at first glance, she's giving Rachel, who was on last season. Kevin, I don't know how I feel about this guy. I think he's just gonna be there.
Yeah.
But he has the same job as me, a finance manager. Never mind, I like him. Slay finance baddie. Okay, Mary, she is going to get on my nerves. I just know it. That outfit is telling me you're going to be obnoxious.
Yeah.
And I know, and I feel bad because Survivor, they do not get to choose what they wear. However, you get to choose what you pack. So she packed this dress.
Right.
She's a substance abuse counselor, which I find very interesting. I think she's going to be very like, Beverly Hills, what a thrill. Beverly Hills, what a thrill.
Hard pass.
Justin.
Get the hell out of here. No, thank you.
Pizzeria manager. You know what he's giving? McCrae.
Yeah. Looks and occupation.
So, what do you think? I think that we have a solid cast. Each season in the new era of Survivor has been improved, slowly but surely. So, I know you didn't watch Carolyn Weiger's season, did you?
No, and I will not be going back to a rewatch or anything like that because I cannot even stand her.
You have to watch her all the way to the final 3. Nobody's voice has ever irked me more than Carolyn Weiger's. Speaking of Carolyn Weiger. So the episode starts at the turret as it has all season. By the way, I'm getting tired of the monotony that we know I like, but I also don't like. You know what I mean? Like, we know the pattern, and last season they changed it up a lot. But anyways, we started off at the turret, and that turret was, first of all, Danielle showed up humble, I thought. I really thought Danielle showed up as humble as she possibly could be given the situation and what had just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Carolyn was kooky as fuck. And Boston Rob was like, I'm just not even gonna tell you who has a shield. Excuse me?
Yeah, it was all,
What?
but also the whole thing, like, I did not think they were going to be able to come to a decision together because Danielle did start out very humble, but then I'm also annoyed that they didn't show us Danielle kind of like conceding more into Derek going. They showed a real quick clip, but there had to have been more conversations that went into that.
I'm
and so I am
so
really
excited
disappointed.
for Danielle's words after.
Yes.
Because she has made it very clear. I know some of the stars have talked during on their Instagrams and their Facebooks and their Twitters and whatever. She has made it kind of clear that she's waiting until the end, which makes me think that there might be things that haven't been shown and she can't talk about them because she can't talk about it until it's shown. And if she doesn't know if it's ever going to be shown.
Exactly.
I'm very excited for that. So
Yep.
I think she's gonna have a lot
Yep.
to say. I think she knows that it looks bad and it looks messy. She also has said that she won't be talking about it until after the reunion, which makes me wonder if we'll find things out at the reunion.
I
But
think
yes, I
so.
agree with you. I think that I don't know why she would concede to the Derek thing, and here's why. She had to have known that Boston Rob was likely to go, and the only other thing that I can conclude in my mind is that she knew that Derek was a threat, and so she thought it made more sense because she did agree that it wouldn't make sense to waste the murder on Sam because we saw Carolyn be like, well, I guess we could agree on Sam. And honestly,
Yeah.
if I was Danielle, I probably would have, I don't know. I think I would have pushed against Derek at that moment because you knew Rob was liable to go. So why would you concede to what he wants? Unless
Yeah.
Carolyn was really pushing for it as well, and we just didn't get that in the edit. I don't know.
Potentially, but I mean, honestly, if so, Carolyn, that would have been stupid on Carolyn's part because Derek wasn't on to her. So it's like, what would have been, she wouldn't have had a very strong case. The only person that had a strong case was Rob for Derek to go. And this is speaking as someone that was jumping up and down at the fact that Derek was gone because I was elated. But it also was just kind of like, I really wish we would have seen more of the conversation.
I never thought I would be mad, but I was actually mad to see Derek go, not because of him personally at all, but because I was like, girl, Danielle, stand up for yourself, honey, because like you needed him. I think she needed him. If they were working together as closely as they were, um, I think he would have been valuable to keep around. I do wonder, it does seem like he actually believed that Brittany was a traitor, and that was weird. I didn't think he would actually believe that. Now, I have not went and watched his reveal yet. I need to go
It's
watch
not up
that.
yet.
Oh, it's not up yet. Okay.
Mark hasn't
Yeah.
posted it yet.
I'm excited to see that, to see what
Yeah.
his thoughts are on the Danielle thing, because everyone else was actually shocked, which leads me to believe that we're being very critical of her and her bad game.
100.
But I believe that something must have happened in that castle that makes everyone feel as though she is a faithful. I don't know if she's saying things, if she's doing things in a way that we just aren't getting to see on the edit or what, but something's happened to make them think she's a faithful because everyone believes she's a faithful.
Yeah, so, okay, one thing that I do know from, I'm just going to call it my super secret source. So you know the super secret source, but nobody else does. One thing that they have said that I actually, like, it made something kind of click in my brain is that when you go in there and you don't know these people, you don't know what they act like in day-to-day life.
Valid.
So, like, we all watching Danielle know from watching her on Big Brother, this is not Danielle's normal behavior. Like, all the crying and, like, all that kind of stuff. Other people, especially from, like, the Big Brother people are the least known kind of people that join that cast to the other cast members. Like, they're not sitting there watching Big Brother. So, like, and Danielle played a long time ago as well. So they dang sure weren't watching it, like, back then. You know what I mean? And so, like, a lot of people don't know Danielle and how she acts. So to them, this could just be her normal behavior, similar to how Carolyn, a lot of people don't suspect, because they're just used to seeing this erratic, wild behavior constantly. They just think that's how she is and who she is as a person, which is true. But I'm just saying, I think that that also plays into why a lot of people aren't on to Danielle, because they don't know her like we all do.
I would agree with that. Then that would also make sense why somebody like Derek, for example, because he does know her and they do have a working relationship just because of the BB community, he would know her and her behavior. But the thing is he did not see her at all until after she became a traitor. So if there was any lapse in her behavior from before she knew she was a traitor until after, Derek would have no idea. So I believe that he probably really thinks she's a faithful then.
Yep, I agree.
Because Derek also has not played with her. He wasn't even on, like, Brittany, for example, was on Reindeer Games, right? So if anyone, it would be Brittany that would know any differences. Derek watches the show, Brittany watches the show. You brought up something that I think we should touch on really quick. You mentioned how nobody watches Big Brother but us, right? The Big Brother people watch Big Brother and nobody else does. Challenge people don't watch Big Brother. Big Brother people watch Big Brother. Survivor people watch Big Brother. And vice versa. Big Brother people watch Survivor.
For the most part.
Big Brother people watch everything.
Yeah.
But a lot of Survivor people do watch Big Brother. And I think it's important that we touch on this because I am really tired of people who, okay, I see a lot of stuff on social media. Throw this person from the challenge into the Traitors. Throw this person from the Real Housewives into the Traitors. And it's just off the wall people, right? Now, if you're giving me somebody like Nene Leakes, for example, abso-fucking-lutely, she would be wonderful on the Traitors. She would give us good TV, and she would also be fighting for her goddamn life in that Trader's house. And she would be giving us a wonderful round table, and she would stand up for herself and do all the things. But then you get somebody like Dorinda, who the best thing she ever does is have a glass of wine. I don't know that that was a great idea, right? Even Dolores, love her to death, and I love Real Housewives of New Jersey, wasn't great. But like, and I'm not a huge challenge person, but here's what I do know about the challenge is it does not have the same strategic aspect that Big Brother has or Survivor has. And when you have somebody like Wes going on the podcast and saying statements such as who people are asking him questions like, would you want to work with a Survivor or a Big Brother person? Well, if I had to choose either one, absolutely it would be Survivor because those Big Brother people, they're rejects and they don't. And he's just like dog talking Big Brother as if it's like some child's game. And I'm like, dude, have you ever watched the show? Because how many people have been on the challenge, Big Brother, and some even Survivor too? And what do they always say? Which game
Big
was the
Brother's hardest.
hardest? For multiple
Every time.
reasons. The reason that we've only had people like Trishelle, CT, Bananas, and Wes, the reason that we've only had 4 people from the challenge is why? Because they don't have transferable skills away from the challenge. And Wes
No,
also, I
yeah.
have seen him even say that in an interview before, that you have to have certain transferable skills. So he realizes that. Then why are you dog talk? Like, obviously, there's been a lot of Survivor people with transferable skills. Obviously, there's been a lot of Big Brother people with transferable skills.
Yeah, what I will say is of those 4 that we've had, they all come from old school challenge because old school challenge did have some strategical elements to it. That ended a long fucking time ago.
Let me add this. Old School Challenge also brought in people almost exclusively from either totally the outside or from the real world. So on the real world, I mean, I know it's not a game show or anything, but they're learning how to be relevant for TV on the real world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, old school challenge, whenever it was actually strategic, was strictly real world and road rules contestants coming together.
I forgot about road. I can't even say it. Road rules. So I am
And
just so sick and tired of this dog talking Big Brother. And I know I'm biased. I know you're biased, but like I am truly sick of it.
yeah, well, okay, so this
And
all
just because
stemmed.
Dan didn't do well, look, here's the thing. Dan doesn't know Phaedra. And I truly think that that was his downfall. What he did would have actually worked if he had
Any other person.
a week to plan that out. He only had
Not to.
a couple hours at best. He did not have a week to, first of all, he went into the Traitors with a BB14 mentality, and he should have went in with a BB10 mentality, and I will stand by that. BB10 Dan is who should have came to the Traitors, but unfortunately he brought BB14 Dan because that's where he had the iconic Dan's funeral, and that's what he tried to recreate. And look, I applaud him. He did the best he could with the devices he had. The only other thing I would say that would have saved him is if he would have just fucking recruited Janelle, because we know that from the behind the scenes, we know that they had a Gamers Alliance. So why he didn't recruit Janelle over Parvati, I really still have never figured that out, but nonetheless, yes, Dan sucked. Yes, Cody sucked, but really Cody was kind of like
Cody always sucks.
Yes, but he was also targeted pretty early, whereas okay, so when you're in a house with half and half people from the real world and half people, not the real world the show, but half people from real life and half people from games like they had on the first season.
Mhm.
Actually, I don't even know if it was half, but people knew Cody. They remembered Cody. Cirie had not been on TV in a little while at that point because she had not yet been on Big Brother. It was easy for Cirie to blend in. It was not easy for Cody to blend in. And he was
Mhm.
obviously a target from the beginning. And so even though I don't usually give Cody credit, I will give credit where it's due. And I think he was an easy target. When you have somebody like Dan go into last season, he knew it was going to be an uphill battle for him because of his reputation, and him getting rid of Bananas was a wonderful first move.
It's not just the challenge people that dog talk Big Brother, though. If it's someone that is exclusively a Survivor person, they're doing the same thing. According to TikTok comments directed at me, there is data to prove that Survivor is the hardest game and Big Brother is not even close. Data. I'd love to see the
Where's
data.
the data? Where's the peer review study? Please bring it forward.
I don't know, but I'm sick of it. Everyone acts like Big Brother is not a hard game. It's a very hard game. It's extremely long. If it's not the longest, it's one top 3. Whoever these people are in these comments, man, they're real fired up that I said that anyone that has crossed over, and mind you, I didn't just mean crossover Survivor Big Brother. Any people that have crossed over from either Big Brother to other competition reality shows, or we've had seasons of Big Brother in the past where 3 from Survivor, or season 17 with the 2 Amazing Race people, other people have come to Big Brother, and they're asked what is the hardest out of all of them. It is almost always
Big Brother.
Big Brother, with the exception of Beast Mode Cowboy, but hello, he got medevaced. That's like a variation to everyone. You know what I mean? Come on.
I think people that play Big Brother and Survivor both have the most transferable skills of almost any other game. And that's just my opinion. And I'm going to stand by that because I don't know any other show that those same skills will be transferable to. And I had somebody argue with me recently that the social aspect is really a part of the challenge. And I just firmly disagree. I just don't see how, because at the end of the day, if you're able to win comps and stay out of trouble, then that's all you got to do. And that's the other reason why I think Survivor is not as difficult as Big Brother, because on Survivor, you have the opportunity to win a competition every single week by week. And that is another reason why Boston Rob is not a strategic player. He's not a great player, but he has the ability to win competitions, to find clues, to find idols, to be chaotic enough to roll the dice and see what happens. And it has worked out in his favor, usually because production helps him at this point. And truly. And he also has the ability, in the early seasons, he does have the ability to gain sympathy. Whenever he fell in love with his wife, he had the ability to gain sympathy so that they could stay together as long as possible on the show. But he's not he's not out there forming alliances. He's not out there. We literally saw him be terrible at being strategic. But I had people in my comment section on TikTok that were like, he's the best, da 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 da. No, he's not. He literally murdered Derek immediately following Derek calling him out at the round table. And right before that, Bob Harper called him out at the round table. So you mean to tell me that somebody calls you out at the round table, every single person that voted for him or called him out at the round table, he murdered. And that is a horrible track record. Does he not know what he's doing? Truly.
So what I'm going to say about my opinion about Boston Rob is I don't think that he is a great strategical player, but he's very manipulative. He's a very good manipulative player. And a lot of that is because of the sympathy that he can garner with people and whatnot or whatever. But when he made the choice to murder Derek, he didn't even know about the Britney stuff. So he didn't have a plan. It just so happens that Dylan told him afterwards and he was able to use that. It's not like he knew about the Britney and Derek situation and knew he'd be able to pawn it off onto Britney.
He literally said to Danielle, just give me this one. I have to get him out. He was just upset because Derek went after him.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to get him out.
There was no plan,
So in that case, the strategic person, I think, is Danielle, actually, to give in. Because despite her not really wanting to, because Derek was her buddy, I think she knew, okay, let him murder this guy. He's definitely going. If he wasn't going out the door next, he is now. He is now. Mm-hmm. This is nail in the coffin for you, buddy, because
it was, thank God.
I hope Carolyn's next. I am so done with Carolyn. I do wonder what the future for Carolyn and Danielle is going to be.
Messy as hell.
I think Danielle's going to get her. Danielle's getting her. I was worried about Danielle the first couple episodes, but...
No, I think Danielle's going to be able to turn around, and I agree. I think that when it comes to the Danielle versus Carolyn situation, Danielle is going to be the one to come out on top. Danielle's made mistakes. I'm not going to sit here and say that she's played a flawless game because it's been far from it. But she has made a lot of moves with strategy in mind to where Carolyn, literally the only reason that she's not being detected by anyone is just because of her personality. And also, she's not made a single move that, like, sets her up to be better than, like, that puts her in a better position or what. She's just coasting and relying on the fact that she has an erratic personality that people aren't going to pick up on the fact that she is a traitor, and that is quite literally it.
Yeah, I do actually think that we're probably not getting in the edit, but I do think she probably is getting close to people more than we think.
Yeah.
I do think that she's, because I have noticed on some aspects of the edit, we see her a lot of times sitting with people and eating, and they're bouncing ideas off of her. So that does make me think that she is liked.
I think she's
Just
liked,
as Danielle is blowing people out of the water whenever they pull out her name when they do their post reveal episode interview things that we're getting, Carolyn is even more so than Danielle really blowing them away. And I think it's just because she's so damn kooky. But Danielle, if anyone,
Yes.
Danielle has the ability to convince people, especially with the way Carolyn acted once Danielle said her name. All Danielle has to do is keep bringing that up and be like, I said her name one time to what, 4 people? And she has just gone bananas.
Well, the thing is, okay, yes, people have been a lot more shocked about Carolyn being a traitor. That's because a lot of people think she's not capable. And that also tells me that she might be having conversations with people and in those rooms when they're bouncing ideas off of each other, but people aren't listening to her. They're not
Just
taking
like
her
Tom.
word for what
They're
it is.
treating her like Tom.
Exactly. So I just really think that from a strategy standpoint that Danielle's going to be able to outmaneuver her and will be the one to come out on top.
I've been thinking that this was a traitor season to win, or sorry, a faithful season to win. I don't know. I'm wondering if Danielle and Carolyn are going to go to the turret at the very end, or not the turret, the circle of fire. And if Danielle's going to cut her. But I don't know, because look, I've been so wrong about all my predictions.
I don't see them lasting to the end. They will go after each other again. Their personalities don't mesh well together. Do you think they're going to recruit now? And who do you think it's going to be? Because you and I both kind of were thinking Derek. I think maybe Brittany. The person that I thought Danielle would want to recruit from the very beginning was Brittany. And we did get a little bit of an edit of Carolyn being like, but Brittany's your number one to Danielle, which makes me see that she's jealous about that. And I do wonder if maybe Danielle's going to be able to cut Carolyn soon and recruit somebody, and she recruits Brittany. I also wouldn't be surprised if she's able to recruit Brittany even while Carolyn's still there, because my super secret source tells me that Brittany and Carolyn are somewhat close. Carolyn does trust Brittany, and I think that plays into why Carolyn brought that up, because I think you're right. There's jealousy there, but it's not just because of Danielle. It's also because of Brittany being close to Danielle, and Carolyn wants to be close to Brittany.
Yeah.
So I could see her convincing Carolyn to bring Brittany in because it's someone that they can both get along with. It can be a mediator, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, I could see that. I'm fine with either way. I kind of want to see Brittany get recruited now. I think in this last episode, I started realizing that she's not quite as wrong as she thought she was, as I thought she was. I kind of thought she wasn't doing shit. And then in this last episode, I was like, oh, okay. Like she is aware of some things. She's just doing a really good job of laying as low as humanly possible. I think that she knew from the very beginning that Danielle was probably a traitor. I have gotten that vibe even just watching their interactions.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like she knows and she's not going to say anything.
Yeah, I agree 100%. For sure.
But let's talk about that challenge.
Oh my gosh.
This is why the only show I really ever see myself applying for is Big Brother, because Big Brother doesn't make you do gross shit like that.
That's not true.
When did they ever put bugs on people?
They definitely have, because that used to be also my excuse. And then there was one season, I can't remember, maybe like 18 or 19. I don't remember. that they had some kind of a challenge that had snakes, cockroaches, all of it. And I was like, Big Brother changed it up. I will never apply to the show again because I am out when you start bringing all this kind of shit out. Absolutely.
Well, they
not.
haven't done it since because I don't remember that. But truly, seriously, like I will give Boss and Rob these props. Sarah picked the best partner possible.
Yeah.
A Survivor person, because him with the experience that he has doing stuff like that season after season on Survivor, 5 seasons, 6 if you want to count IOI. He knew exactly what he was doing, and the way that he effortlessly was just like, "Hey, when's your birthday? What are we going to eat when we go out to dinner?" and yada yada yada. Like, he was not burdened by her being scared, which showed the OG old head player that he really is. I will give him that credit, because it just showed that he is an experienced game show player. Because, you know, in a game show, there's going to be times that you're playing a competition that your fate depends on another person completing that competition. And he knew exactly how to handle that. And I was impressed.
I was most impressed by Brittany. I did not expect her, 1, to last the whole time, and 2, to have barely any reactions to all of that happening. Brittany and Danielle both, to be honest. I didn't expect.
I think that's, again, old head. Again, the two of them knew. They knew, because if you saw, who was there? Carolyn. Who was with
Gabby?
Carolyn? Gabby. They made a comment like, they're not even phased, and they were like, no, they're just quiet. That is exactly the thing. They knew, we're not going to be freaking out the way they are. We're going to be demure. We're going to be cutesy. So for Shields, we have Danielle, Brittany,
Ivor
and Sam.
And then it was Rob and Sierra.
And so Sierra has one too. So up for murder on episode 8,
Tom.
Gabby, Tom, Chriselle, and who was with Tom?
Whatever housewife. Dylan. Dolores and Dylan.
Wait, okay, hold on. Chriselle and Gabby were together. Dolores and Dylan were together?
No,
Chriselle and Dolores were together.
Carolyn. No.
Chriselle and Dolores were together.
Dolores.
Carolyn and
Gabby and Carolyn.
And
Gabby and Carolyn. And then Dylan and Tom.
So those are the people that can potentially get murdered.
Yeah.
So obviously not Carolyn. So who do you think they're going to murder?
I don't know. Honestly, I could see it being Tom, because he was the one that just got out robbed. But he's not onto either one of them, so it would not be a smart choice. I could also see it being Gabby if it's gotten back to if it's gotten back to either one of them that she's mentioned Danielle's name, because she is very smart. It wouldn't surprise me, because I just said last week that I think Gabby is playing really well, so for her to get murdered then 2 episodes later is really on brand for me and my predictions. So
they have said Gabby's name before, and the two girls specifically, and wanted to murder her. And Boston Rob has gotten his way with every single turret. So I think that they would go after somebody that they've already kind of wanted before and haven't had the opportunity to. I actually think that the two of them will be able to decide together on someone to murder easier now that Boston Rob is gone, because we kind of saw that before Boston Rob came in the turret.
I also do think that for the most part, the people that they feel the closest to are the same people. Even though it might be in different like hierarchies and things like that, because like Dylan is another person that is close to both of them, and so neither one of them are going to want to go after him. So I do agree. I think that they're going to be able to be more agreeable in the turret. It might not be the best strategical moves. We'll have to wait and see, but definitely more agreeable with each other in the turret.
Yeah, I actually could see them murdering Dylan, just because.
I think eventually.
I think it's kind of going to be a girls thing.
Do you think that, okay, because the only thing that made me think it could potentially be Dylan is in the little teaser where they say when they do the face-to-face killing that you were too good of a faithful. Do you think they're killing Dylan on this next episode? Or was that just to make us think?
Here's the only thought that I really had after that. It's not Tom. Because they showed that clip of Tom being like, so it's not him. It's not him. Like, we know that that's how the Traitors edit shit to make us think something. And I have fallen for that trick so many times that I know that Tom being like at the end of the episode, that means it's not him. One second. is Kate and Parvati? Because I swear, where were they? I thought they were, when they went to that wedding thing, I thought, oh, they're going to be the ones doing like the
Yes.
wedding. So maybe they're going to, I wonder if they're going to show up at this murder. Maybe they're going to be mourning. Where the hell are they?
Do you remember last season when they did the coffin thing? They had like a whole ass like burial ceremony. Maybe they're just coming to, because we saw them
burial
carried out of
ceremony.
the coffin. Yeah. So maybe they're just going to be at whatever kind of burial ceremony they have.
That's what I was saying. Like, I wonder if they're going to wake up from breakfast and we're going to see the aftermath of whoever they murdered. How many recruits do you think we're going to have? Do you think we're going to have a recruit? I'm shocked that we didn't have a recruit at the end. I was actually surprised that Alan didn't come out at the end of this episode and go ahead and initiate a recruit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we could potentially see that for next episode. I think there's just going to be one throughout the season.
I'm actually on pins and needles for the next episode, I think.
I'm really excited to see how it all plays out and what else happens.
We only have like 4 left in
there's
totality.
not very many. It's like the actual finale is the first week of March, and then we have the reunion at some point, which they haven't filmed the reunion yet.
They haven't filmed it yet? I thought they filmed it whenever they were in New York.
No, that's why my super secret source was like I don't know why they let all these people go to New York together, because things could have been resolved, but they also said no worries, nothing was resolved. It'll still be a messy ass reunion.
So there's something that has to be resolved.
Correct.
Well, I don't think I have anything else to say about the Traitors other than I'm going to expect the unexpected at this point, because I've been everything I've thought was going to happen hasn't happened, except for I was correct that Boston Rob was going. Finally, I have been saying that for 3 weeks though, but I was correct that
I was right.
3 weeks later, I was correct. I was going to get it right. You know what I mean? Like, process of elimination.
Dead.
Do you have any predictions before we go?
I think that Gabby is the one that gets murdered face to face.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Then I think that Tom will be banished just because they don't have any strong leads right now and they're all sick of it.
I agree with you on the Gabby. Yeah, I think you're right. I could see the Tom thing happening because we have seen that whenever somebody doesn't know who to vote for, they vote for Tom. We could see Danielle stir something up though. It's not going to be Carolyn. She's not going to stir shit up. But I think if anyone's going to stir something up and fabricate some kind of rumor that would be spread, it would be Danielle. And I could see her maybe doing it on Dylan.
I don't know. I think it's too soon for a Dylan for her to go about it in that way. Too many people trust Dylan.
That's the point.
He's like the pilot. No, I get it. And I'm not saying it would be bad to get him out. But Dylan is someone you have to murder. I don't think you can get enough people rounded up to banish him. At least not right now.
Is he up for murder? Dylan?
Yes.
What if they choose Dylan?
I think it's either Gabby or Dylan based on the comment.
I don't think it's Tom based on our little edit we got.
Right.
But it could be Gabby or Dylan. I think it could be Dylan. Yeah. We are getting to the point though on the Traitors where the numbers are low.
Yes.
So we can expect to be kind of sad and upset at pretty much every banishment and murder. Because there's nobody else other than Sam and Tom that I would be like, yeah, woohoo.
Carolyn.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I would be like, yes, fuck yes, get Carolyn out. Only if Danielle gets her out. Actually, no. Under any circumstances, I'm ready to see Carolyn go. If for some reason Danielle goes before Carolyn, I'll be like, she needs to go yesterday. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. I need Carolyn out quick and in a hurry.
I would be okay with Carolyn going to the end if Danielle's with her. But other than that, that bitch has got to go. So many TikToks people are like, I think that's about all we've got to say about the Traitors, episode 7. When we come back next week, we are going to see if I was right or wrong about Kendrick not saying Drake's name. You guys will know that when you listen to this. We won't yet. And we also are definitely going to be talking about the Amazing Race cast because Amazing Race starts March the 5th. We want to talk about the Amazing Race cast of season 37, and we also want to talk about some of the rumors for season 38. Spoiler alert, it's going to be an all Big Brother season. So,
woohoo!
I am personally very excited about that. I think it's going
Same.
to make. I actually, I think that they should do that for Amazing Race exclusively. Honestly, I think it's so much more entertaining when we get people from other shows. Well, it was good gabbing with you. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.